Welcome to day 508, 508 days in a row of Facebook Lives. We're going to start talking some stuff that really matters, money. I love the topic of money. You know, today's an 8-minute PBS NewsHour special from a professor who talked about finances, and everything you need to know is on a index card. I've actually posted a link to that book if you want his little book in the description, so you can check that out in the email that you got. So, I'm going to just jump right into it. Tip number one. When I start talking about money and you feel like it's not your thing, I'm not into it, etc., I would lean back now. I would ask you to seriously think about your finances. If you're not into money, there's a good chance you don't have any of it. I'm not being critical. If you need it, this is a major tip, right? If you have ever said, I can't afford it, it's too expensive, I'm really stressed out, I can't pay the bills, I have barely enough to live on, times are tight, Dr. V, then I strongly suggest you start getting interested in money. All right? Why? Tip 1A. What we have in our lives is everything that we are interested in, that we like, right? I like this. I like these antique orange office chairs with their awesome chrome. I YouTubed how to polish this chrome too. It's going to be awesome, right? And I used to have a set of 6 of them. I'm down to 2. But I have an interest in mid-century modern stuff. So I've got, check out my rocking chair. Isn't that sweet? Look at that rocking chair. I saw that at a estate sale. And, I talked the dude down to like $60 on this rocking chair, guys. It is metal. This is metal. Look at that design. Have you ever seen a rocking chair like this? I can almost guarantee you've never seen a rocking chair like that. It is the most comfortable rocking chair. It's amazing. So everything around me in my life is things that I'm interested in. I have a guitar in the corner. I'm not very good. That's my guitar, left-handed seagull, that I've had since med school when I tried to teach myself how to play guitar, and I'm horrible, and I can't do it. I'm no good at it, not even my piano. But it's in my life because I'm interested in it. This green chair is in my life because I saw it and it's unique. And I was like, I'm talking this motherfucker down to $60. And he was asking like $120. I looked this up online. A chair like this will go $400 to $500. And I was like, I didn't know anything about it other than I thought it was cool. What are you trying to say, Dr. V? Get back on topic. I am on topic. Everything in your life, everything that's around you, just look around. You had an interest in it. You liked it. So if you think that money is not important, that's step number 1. That's why you don't have any money. It's not in your life because you don't think it's important. Aha. Can I have an aha? So, and remember, I was $4 million in debt. Broke and bankrupt, at 36, 38, 30, up to 39 years old. And so I quickly learned that you can't say stuff like that. You have to take an interest in it. If you want more money in your life, you have to take an interest in it. Well, Dr. V, money's not that important. I'm not all about the money. I'm not all about mid-century modern furniture. I'm not all about guitars. I have one guitar, but I'm interested in it. I like cars, but I only have one car. Like, I don't have a collection of cars. You got to have some money. Does this make sense? I'm not sitting here and say, like, wrap your whole life around it. Tip number 2, you need to wrap your whole life around it. Some of y'all need to fucking wrap your whole life around it. When you are down to the last 50 cents, when you are down to the last $2 or $3 in your checking account, you need to make your fucking life about money temporarily. because everything in your life is because you took an interest in it. And if you don't have enough of it, you just did take an interest in it. Does this make sense? So some of y'all, and I don't know where this video finds you, you might be like how I was, fucking pink envelopes every effing day, man. Like phone calls from 1-800 numbers and 866 numbers and area codes that you don't recognize, like every single effing hour. I was there. Maybe you're at a point where you need to make it a priority. So tip number 3, most of the shit you're hearing about money, it's all fucking wrong. It's all wrong. And the reason why you don't like it is because you've heard all sorts of wrong, stupid stuff about it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write in the comment section something that you learned about money growing up that as an adult you realize is not true. It's just not true. And I'm going to give you a couple of big ones, right? Myself. But I'll give you a moment. Write something you heard about money growing up that now you kind of go, wow, that did not help me at all. That did not serve me at all. Instead of saying that, Mom, I wish you had shown me how to balance my checkbook. Instead of telling me that, Dad, I wish you had, shown me how to invest in, mutual funds or something like that. There you go. Some comments coming in. Money doesn't make you happy. Money's not important. These are all great things. People with money were greedy. Man, that's a good one. Money isn't that important. Yeah. I can't afford it. See, these are things that you learn. The more money you make, the more you spend is a total fucking lie. Like, number-wise, yes, but proportionate-wise, no. When I was broke, I could barely afford ramen noodles because ramen noodles to my $100 I had in the bank account was huge. But when you have, a lot more money in the bank account, then a $100 dinner or a $200 dinner is minuscule. Even though you're spending more money than ramen noodles, proportionally speaking to how much you have in the bank, you're not spending more. In fact, I'll tell you the opposite. It's really poor people who spend more money proportionately than what they have. Let's say you're an average person. This is how much money you have in a bank account. And, just to make it easy, I'll call it, there's a statistic that said like 50% of Americans don't have $500 in the bank account. Half of Americans don't have $500 in the bank account. So let's just say you're above average. Let's say you have $1,000 in a bank account. If you have $1,000 in a bank account and you just spent $100 on Nikes or $150 on Air Jordans, you've spent, 15% of your $1,000. That's huge. And you're hoping that stock market returns 8%? You're buying into this bullshit old money talks that people tell you? It's bullshit. But if you have $100,000 in your savings, who understands what I'm saying? $100 is nothing. You're spending like nothing. If you have $1 million in your bank account, then what's a $100, $150 pair of Air Jordans? If you have $10 million in savings, then what is $100? What is a $500 dinner? It's nothing, proportionately speaking. So the next tip is what I would tell you is people are messed up about the proportions, right? They are so fixated on how much you spend, and they are bamboozled and like worldly eyes every time you see a sale sign, 30% off, 50% off, and you buy a purse. Well, it used to be $200 and now it's only $100. Listen, motherfucker, you only have $500 in the bank. Your $100 you just spent, but it's worth $200. It's not. That purse is not worth $200. Yes, it was, Dr. V. Really? Because they just knocked 50% off of it. If it was worth $200, Why did they knock it off 100? Well, I got a great deal on it. No, you did not get a great deal on it. You paid what it was worth at the moment. And what it was worth at the moment was $100. No, Dr. V, I don't believe you. Well, I'll prove it to you. They had it sitting at $200 and it didn't sell. So if it didn't sell at $200, that means it wasn't worth $200. No, they sold a bunch and now they're down to like 3. Well, those are idiots. And maybe the red one was worth $200, or maybe the checkered one was worth $200. But the black one, or the turquoise one, or the pink puke taupe one, nobody wanted. So it was only worth 100. So they had to mark it down to move merchandise. Do you understand what I'm saying? You did not get a deal. You did not save any money. You would have saved $100 if you hadn't bought the damn thing. But instead you spent $100. See, what's at the bottom of the equation? What is the bottom of the sheet for those accounting people? What's the net at the bottom? The net at the bottom is not that you saved 50% on a purse you didn't need. The net at the bottom is that you spent $100. $100 went out. Okay? Let me give you a couple of lies real quick. These are painful to understand. Son, daughter, just work hard. Work hard and the money will be there. Dude, as a surgeon, I worked really hard. As a resident, I did a 120-hour work week one time. As a resident, I was in the hospital for 40 hours without leaving. I got home and my friend called me at the time, and he one of my best friends, and he called me, and I was like, I'm sorry, man, I'm about to go take a nap. He goes, are you all right? I said, yeah, I just spent 40 hours at the hospital. And he goes, 40 hours? I said, yeah. He goes, dude, that's a full work week for the average person. And I was like, holy shit, that's a full work week for the average person. Good night. I was out. And then as a resident, I started flipping houses. And before anyone goes, well, Dr. V, that's what you get for not being focused. Dude, I was intern of the year. I got job offers as a 4th year resident instead of a 5th year resident. I was highly regarded. I learned a lot, I wore suits my 5th year when everyone was still wearing scrubs to 6 a.m. meetings. I got up early and put on a suit. It was the same fucking suit every single fucking day because I was broke, but I wore a suit, right? So, just work hard, the money will be there. That's a fucking lie. It's a lie. Something like, half of 60% of baby boomers can't retire. They're at 65 now. They were told this whole time, just, work hard, save your money, and retire at 65. And they're getting to 60. 62, and they realize they can't retire. Now, there are some of them that can, but most of them can't. So that's a lie. Just work hard, son. Just work hard, daughter. The money will be there. The money will be there. That is a lie. It will not just magically fucking, magical unicorn poop shit appear. You don't just get to push a lever and a button and turn 6. See, in your brain, in the average person's brain, they think, if I just make it to 65, somehow magically there will be money in my bank account. And that's Social Security, Dr. V. That's what I'm investing. Do you understand how little Social Security is? Oh no, my grandma is doing good. She gets like $2,000 from Social Security. She gets another $500 from her pension. She gets another $500 from her deceased husband's pension. I'm like, $3,000 a month, $4,000. You can't live off of $4,000 a month, y'all. That's 48 grand. Oh, but I don't have to pay taxes. I don't have to file taxes because it's, dude, okay, fine. You get to keep $48,000. What? You can't live on that in America. They printed, check this shit out. Here's a statistic that's going to blow your mind. Hold on to your panties real quick. In the last year, they have printed 40%, 40%, the US government has printed 40% of all of the money they have ever printed in the history of the United States. What? 40% of all the money that has ever been printed in the history of the United States was printed last year. And you telling me there's no inflation? Shit. And you're telling me the inflation number is 5% in May? And oh my God, it's 5.4% in June. No, it's not. Yes, it is, Dr. V. I saw it on CNN. No. It's easily 20%. The people in the know really suspect inflation is at 20%. And to not freak you out, they will be controversial and say, in some sectors, if you look at some sectors, such as fucking groceries and rent and housing, which is not factored into the CPI, Consumer Price Index, which is, usually regarded as the major index for inflation, the CPI. How can you be the major index for inflation and you don't fucking count living expenses as inflation? You don't count groceries as inflation. What the fuck? See, these are lies that they're telling you. And someone controversial will get on TV and say, well, in certain sectors, we are afraid that maybe, possibly, inflation numbers might be more closely, roughly, north side of 10%. Because all you hear is 10%. You don't hear, north side of 100% is north side of 10%. So what I would tell you is that there are money lies. And if you don't have enough of it, you need to make it temporarily. Dr. V, I just want to be happy. Good luck being happy without money. There's this funny saying that goes, people say money doesn't make you happy, but everybody wants to find out for themselves. That's a funny one. Think about the irony of that. Money doesn't make you happy, but everybody wants to find out for themselves. All right? So you motherfucker, you sit there and go, money doesn't make you happy, but give me 100,000. I hope I win the lottery. Let me find out for myself. Let me find out for myself how happy, how unhappy, how little happiness money really brings you. Let me find out for myself while I'm sipping margaritas on the beach or sitting on a yacht or a boat or flying private or flying first class. Let me figure out for myself. Oh, hell, you're right. Flying first class really doesn't make you happy. See, people tell you that shit because they don't want you to take their first class seat. They don't want to they don't want you to drive up the cost of goods. Let me give you the next tip. This one's really important. I've often said, and Jim Rohn back in the 80s said, that some people think there's enough money in the system, especially now that they fucking printed like $6 trillion and they're about to print another $3.5 trillion. They're going to print $10 trillion before this is all said and done. But back in the 80s, man, before all this money printing even started, back in the 80s, Jim Rohn said there's enough money in the system that if they distributed it evenly to every man, woman, and child on this planet, at that time there was like 5 billion people. Now we're at 7.5 billion people. But it's still true because they printed this money. That if you disperse the money evenly to every man, woman, and child on the planet, we would all be millionaires. That's tip number next one, okay? We would all be millionaires. And Jim Rohn says, but what they realized that is in a few months, 6 months to a year, that money would find its way back to all the people who had it beforehand. In other words, there's a small number of people who have the money. There's billions of people who don't have it. Let's say we distributed it all down. Now we're all millionaires. In a few months, all that money would find its way back into the hands of the few. Makes total sense. You see how people get a car wreck settlement, a homeowner's insurance settlement, and they fucking blow it. Well, they're blowing it on businesses and services owned by the wealthy. So all that money is going to make its way back into the hands of the wealthy. Makes sense. But here's the tip, next 1A, that is super, super important that you have to understand. We wouldn't be millionaires. We would be millionaires on paper, but we actually wouldn't live like millionaires. If they dispersed all of the money and made everybody have $1 million in the bank account, we wouldn't be millionaires. Why? You wouldn't have the purchasing power of a millionaire. In other words, let's say you wanted a Ferrari, and a good Ferrari is, $350,000. Right? So that's a lot of fucking money. Like I don't like spending over $30,000 on a car. So a Ferrari is $350,000. And so the wealthy few can afford it because they've got, let's say they have $10 million in the bank account or $100 million in the bank account. So $350,000 is like your $35,000 Ford Taurus. $350,000 Ferrari is like you spending $35,000. And fucking these days, it's a fucking Honda Civic. All right, you understand what I'm saying? Proportionately, it's the same for them. But if they dispersed the money and we all became millionaires, Uncle Billy will go out and say, I want a Ferrari. And they'll say, Ferrari dealership will say, oh man, like we're sold out. This is our last one. How much is it? Well, it's $450,000. Like what? Like I was here last week and it was only $350,000. I know, but they're in hot demand. The supply is, short supply, high demand. It's $450. Okay, I'll buy for $450. All right. So you buy for $450. Next guy comes in, says, I want a Ferrari. Like we don't have that many. This one's, it's $550. $550, it was just $350 last week. I know, but supply is low, demand is high. Next guy goes, okay, I'll buy it. Next guy comes in and says, I want a Ferrari, $600,000. Why? Supply high, supply low, demand high. So eventually what would happen is if we're all millionaires, all the prices would go up. Does this make sense? This is what we are seeing in the housing bubble right now, commodities, lumber prices, all sorts of stuff. So when the supply is low, demand is high, prices go up. So now you made everybody millionaire, and not everyone's going to be smart with their money. So now your $300,000 house is now $500,000, $600,000, $1 million. And now you got these idiots out there who just got $1 million. They'll say, I'll pay $1 million cash because it's my dream home. And now their bank account went from $1 million down to zero. But they're in their dream home. And the second they get into their dream home and a pipe bursts, they'll go, it's not my dream home. This house was a disaster. Why did I do this? Who understands what I'm saying? So it's not true. We wouldn't all be millionaires. The purchasing power would go away. Right? Well, what does this have to do with me and my weight loss journey, Dr. V? Have you ever said, I can't afford it? Eating healthy is too expensive? Fruits and vegetables? The prices of groceries have doubled. No, Dr. V, I read a report. It's 4%. It's not fucking 4%. Meat's gone up 4%. No, it hasn't. Dude. I mean, I live here in Houston, and I used to could get big shrimp for $4.99 a pound would be expensive. It's like $10.99 a pound now. It's doubled. It's 100% up. I don't care what the fuck they're telling y'all. And here I am in Houston, right on the coast. So we are really in for hard times with the economy. If this bubble, stock market bubble crashes, if the housing bubble bursts, man, there's going to be a lot of suffering. So while you can, right now, I highly recommend you take an interest in money. And I don't care if you start with Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, my buddy Stephen Bach, just get Rich Dad Poor Dad, get this book in this video today, the index cards, read something. Even if they're using terms over your head like P to E ratio, they're talking about quarterlies, they're talking about whatever, just sit there and chill. Just do it for 30 minutes a day. Just read one article. Just read one thing about savings. Which, let me give you my non-elevator bonus tip. Okay, non-elevator bonus tip for those of you still watching. When this pandemic started a year and a half ago, who remembers? I told you, I said that people are getting their stimulus checks. You need to sell all your shit and on Facebook Marketplace. People, they can't shop because the stores were still closed. This was last June. They couldn't spend their money. Stores were still closed. So they discovered Facebook Marketplace, and they went and spent that $1,200, $2,000 stimulus check on a bunch of shit. Last June and July were the best months of used car sales in the history of used car sales, because people would take that stimulus check and that was their down payment. Okay, so those of you who took my advice and sold all your little knickknacks and trinkets and shit, and you were like, I can't believe someone just gave me $50 for that or $100 for that. Like, yep. And then there were other people who said, Dr. V, there's a pandemic, don't you know? Like, I'm not going to do that. Dude, you could have done it all virtually. A porch pickup, you could have never seen the person. They can Venmo you the money, they can Facebook pay you, and they never even have to hand you dollar bills. That's all I did. If you wanted them to come in, make them wear a face mask, which is what I did. And I had some lotion, some sanitation gel, and I made a killing. Okay, so if you did that last June, you're looking pretty good, right? So lots of comments coming in here, man, like elevator tips. Now, here's the bonus non-elevator tip. We all know that there was a shortage in lumber last couple months. That has dropped. The price has come back down, but lumber prices are still twice as high as they were last year, because they got up to 4 to 5 times as high. We know that car prices are high. New car prices are high because of a chip shortage. We know that used car prices are high because no one is trading in used cars to buy a new car, so therefore the used car is low. I'm trading in my 2016 Lexus, and I'm getting what I owe for it, when this time last year I was $15,000 upside down. All right, so here's the bonus tip. There is now a furniture shortage. There is now a furniture shortage. If you want to go buy new furniture right now, there is a 6-month wait. You are not getting furniture until 2022. So you can either buy what's already in stock, or you can buy it used, or you're going to have to wait. What's the furniture shortage? It's fucking foam. So who remembers the snowstorms from, this past winter? Disrupted the petroleum industry down here. So that's the stuff that's needed, the oil, the petroleum products needed to make the foam and cushions in these chairs. There's a back order. So you can't there's a shortage of furniture, guys. If you've got, check this out. I've got this old granny chair that I got for free at a fucking estate sale. It's an oak chair, one chair that I got for free at an estate sale. They were closing, and the lady goes, just please take that. Just take it. You can have it. I said, thank you. I could put that on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not going to do it, but I could. And that would be $20. And someone would fucking buy it. Someone would buy it. See, Jennifer Yoakum knows what I'm talking about. I sell furniture for her living. It's true. Tell them it's true. Okay? So if you've got listen, if your kids have moved out, sell their fucking bed, sell their furniture, sell all that stuff. This is price is high. This is the time to sell. When the prices are high, when all this bubble crashes, it's gonna drop. Buy it back. Buy it back for pennies on the dollar. That's what you need. That's what you need to do right now. So that's your bonus non-elevator tip. That there's a shortage in furniture and they're not really talking about it in the news and stuff. So get a jump start. Get a jump start. Get prepared. Have a garage sale this weekend. Have a Facebook marketplace this weekend. People are itching to buy, y'all. People are wanting to get out. They're wanting to party. They're wanting to do stuff. All right? All right. This starts our money talk. Hope you liked it. Stay tuned for more. Love you guys. Have an amazing day.